You know, I'm starting to understand that every community on the internet is pretty much the same. I was watching this video from Tim, like Call of Duty is dying ? And it's funny because a lot of the things that we talk about in the Fortnite space, I'm hearing him talk about in the Call of Duty space. But on top of that, in the Transformer space, like being a part of the Transformers community and looking at some like live streamers that broadcast over there, they're having similar conversations about how toxic their communities are and how unappreciative everybody is, and everyone's like doom and gloom, and the videos that get clicks are all the negative ones. I'm just getting a better understanding that the internet is just a really screwed up place. And everyone's communities, regardless of if it's video games or transfer, even the model train community that I'm a part of, it's the same thing. Everyone's just mad, like, oh my god, the new Lionel catalogs are shit. Why are this set so expensive? Why are there only diesels in this catalog? It's the same thing in every community that I'm a part of. All my hobbies. It's just like, bro, I guarantee you, if I became a part of the basket weaving community, they would have the same thing. Like, there would be a bunch of negative, overly dramatic videos. Basket weaving just isn't the same. You know, my grandmother back in 1924, she used to basket weave with the 7-inch 11 precision needles, and now they just don't make them like they. It's like, bro, I guarantee you. I kind of wanted to watch this Tim the Tatman video with you guys because there's a few different things in here that were just interesting to me. Kind of like the idea of getting older and kind of seeing how gaming has changed. I think he talks a little bit about that in this video, but also just kind of how the community sentiment is. He also talks about like streaming and all that too. How streaming and gaming has changed. I'll be honest, these are my favorite videos from Tim. This is who, in a lot of ways, Tim the Tatman is a content creator I modeled myself after from the early days. That's why I like sitting down with you guys and having conversations about stuff. It's really because of Tim and seeing how he interacts with his community. It's fun, man. It's just good. But anyway, let's watch a little bit of this. We'll have a conversation, have some back and forth, you know?
I feel like Warzone's gonna die. I feel like all these collabs are just content dumping before they let it die because there's no imagination. I can't lie to you, bro. I'm kind of a simple man, bro.
Okay, listen, I'm just gonna pause it right there. Does that sound familiar to anybody? You know, that's only 9 seconds. We're gonna run that one back in case you didn't hear it. All right, I know we started that rather abruptly.
25 from Derek. I feel like Warzone's gonna die. I feel like all these collabs are just content dumping before they let it die because there's no imagination.
Sounds kind of familiar. It's the same shit in every community, bro. Everybody's community is exactly the same. And that's the thing that's funny about the people that make these kinds of arguments. No one's original. It's all the same thing, bro. The people that are complaining about Fortnite and the cosmetics of Fortnite, they're going to be people in the Call of Duty space complaining about the Call of Duty space, so I kind of get it because they got to get it together. But, you know.
I'm kind of a simple man, bro. The American dad being in Call of Duty does make me chuckle, you know? Right? I feel like a lot of times in life, people say, oh, Call of Duty is dead. Call of Duty is dying.
Was the Beavis and Butthead collab I saw at a place for a game about real war? Listen, to be fair, I do feel like Call of Duty is trying to be like Fortnite. I really do. The collabs that Fortnite has, which is literally everything, I can legitimately see anything being in Fortnite at this point. That's kind of how they branded themselves. COD is trying to capitalize on that. For PUBG Mobile, they're doing a whole Transformers theme, which I'm kind of offended I didn't get invited to promo that, but it's fine, whatever. No, I'm joking, I'm not. It actually kind of made me want to pick up PUBG. If it was for the main version of PUBG and not the mobile experience, I actually probably would have tried it. We probably would have been playing that today. I feel like a lot of companies are just copying the Fortnite model because they know it works. But I would argue that nobody really does collabs as well as Fortnite does. I think everyone's just kind of riding Fortnite's coattails when it comes to bringing in collabs. And yeah, the Beavis and Butthead collab, it does seem kind of out of place. I saw the skins in the game and I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like they really do kind of stand out the same way that like the anime skins pop out in Fort. But once again, Call of Duty's definitely they have an older demographic. Beavis and Butthead, I think they got a new season or something that's coming out. So I get it. It's marketing, bro. That's all it is. And there's a large demographic of people that are going to want to buy those cosmetics, so.
Can I tell you guys something? Call of Duty's never going to die, all right? There's no game out there that can kill Call of Duty but Call of Duty. That's the only game that can end itself, basically.
I had somebody comment on one of my videos recently saying something along the lines that were similar with Fortnite. They were like, oh, Fortnite's been dead since chapter 2. Fortnite's been trashed since chapter 2. And the thing is, everybody's got some kind of arbitrary chapter or season where everything went downhill. Once again, I get it. We can't ignore that certain things have changed, like, for example, the addition of bots. Chapter 2, from day one, and you know, that's when bots got added into Fortnite. You know, them having a stronger presence, a collab presence inside of the game, all that. Like, I get it. There are a lot of things that have changed, but For a lot of these games, man, they've got such a hardcore fan base. They've cemented themselves in gaming culture so much. They're not going anywhere, even with their lowest player counts. All these games that everybody's talking about are going to die, including Call of Duty. And listen, I'm not saying that that these games don't have problems. I'm not saying that there aren't things that are going to be corrected, but it's just like the gaming community has this either or mentality. Like either you have to believe the game's going to die and the game is complete dog shit and the company is out there trying to get you and manipulate you, or you have to absolutely glaze the game and appreciate everything that they do and love every single, like you have to have one of those two stances as a gamer. There is no in between. There is no like, you know, I kind of see the corporate stuff they're doing. Some of it I directly benefit from, and some of it is a necessary evil because I want the game to continue to be free, or I like this thing the game does. But also there's a lot of really dumb stuff that they do and a lot of practices I don't like. And actually this is, you know, if they want to keep me, I think there's some important things that need to change, and I kind of feel like we've gone away from, you know, the direction of the game, but you know, there's a fair balance of that, because maybe none of that. You can't have that opinion. You have to be polarized in one direction or the other. As a content creator, it's kind of weird because you run into a lot of problems by trying to kind of be in the middle, right? Because both sides are bad. Both extremes are bad. And the truth is somewhere in that nuanced gray area, but they want the headline. They want the quick clip. Call of Duty's dying, or this is the best version of Call of Duty ever. Like, neither one of those things are true, bro.
Like Call of Duty, in my opinion, that game won't ever die. And it's literally the Call of Duty cycle. And I said this before and I'll say it again.
They gotta see, this is the other thing.
If you've ever wondered what it's like in life to be a Dallas Cowboys fan, if you're a fan of Call of Duty, that is the feeling. Because everyone talks about whips. Can you put the COD cycle up here real quick? This cycle is the same thing as being a Cowboys fan. I present to you the Call of Duty cycle, ladies and gentlemen.
Go crazy over how good the new COD is. January, enjoy the game. February, hate the game like everybody else. March, say that the older game is the best game. May, go crazy about the next COD trailer. Look familiar to y'all? In our community, we have this too, the Fortnite cycle. I'm telling you, every community on the planet is exactly the same. I think this is a greater reflection of the community and the people that are playing the games more so than the actual developers themselves. This at least.
They say the older game is the better game.
Yep.
And then there's a new...
How, man, do I miss Chapter 5? Oh, God, we didn't know how good we had it in Wrecked the year before. God, Chapter 5 is so ass. Wrecked is the worst abomination ever happened to Fortnite. God, I miss we were really hard on Chapter 4. I would take Wilds over this shit season. Go back in time to Chapter 4. God, this is the worst I'm tired of the shitty Japanese POI. This jungle is ass. God, we were so hard on Chapter 3. I would take Vibin over this. Go back to Chapter 3. God, why were we so hard on Chapter 2? It's the same shit every chapter, bro. Every community is the same. I'm telling y'all, it is the same thing. I've heard this year after year after year after year. Oh my God. I think the biggest mistake was Epic letting us see the player count, because now everybody's a professional at being able to evaluate a video game's health. Oh, the player counts. They had 90,000 less players than last year. It's over. Fortnite's cooked, guys. It's gonna die. It's over. We got a jump ship. I'm never playing this shit game again. It's so terrible. This season's ass because there's 90,000 less players on average. Meanwhile, we have like literally one of the greatest Fortnite seasons of all time current, and you can't enjoy it because you saw that the player count numbers had dipped a little bit. You just don't log into the goddamn game and play for yourself and get you know what's funny? Even Bro tried to do that. Bro, who, if you're watching the recording of this, donates the most amount of money out of everybody in the community. We love Bro. Shout out to Bro. But Bro, for the last 2 months, he was talking about like, oh, I'm so tired of Fortnite. It's terrible. I'm like, and I asked him, I'm like, did you play it yet? He's like, no, I haven't. What do you do? He came in yesterday. Oh my God, Clark, I had the chance to play the new season for the first time, and it's actually really good. I can't believe how amazing it is.
Trailer from March to May.
Shut up, Tim. I'm not done being overly dramatic. Brother, I tried to tell you this, but would anybody listen to me? No, they won't. They absolutely will not. Also, real quick, let me say this, okay? This is one thing that I've learned as a content creator. So I've been making Fortnite content since Chapter 2, Season 7. As of this recording, we're in Chapter 6, Season 3. So that's 4 chapters later. I've been making content in the game for about half the game's lifespan, but the majority of its chapters. Think about that one for a minute. Moving on. You know, it's crazy that like every time I tried to keep people optimistic or be positive about a season, I got called a glazer so much. Epic Games D writer. Just think of your favorite insult, right? And then the following year, a bunch of people come out of the woodwork and be like, "Oh my God, you know, I really have nostalgia for the season for last year." It's like this is what I'm talking about. See, from my perspective, because I glazed it so much, I enjoyed it. I said Wrecked was fun last year, for example. Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 3. I loved Wrecked last year. I have the same opinion. I've stayed pretty consistent about how much I love Wrecked. I glazed Chapter 4 when Chapter 4 was a thing. I love Chapter 4. Now everybody has all this nostalgia and I'm like, oh, we were so hard on it. And it's just like, see, this is what I'm talking about. When you think the game is ass or you think the game is in the worst state it's ever been, do your best to enjoy it, because I always hear people coming later on be like, oh my God, we were so hard. It's just so terrible. I should have enjoyed it more when I had the... Yeah, you should have, stupid. Imagine. Like, just not paying attention.
Let me look at some comments here. Black Ops 6 came out a minute ago, bro. That doesn't seem so bad. Looks gritty right now, but a month after launch, there's going to be Unicorns anime. Okay. Black Ops 8 coming out during 7's beta. Comment section is more entertaining than the actual game. Okay. That one was kind of funny. Can't wait for Black Ops 27 next week. Call of Duty is the Fast and the Furious franchise of the gaming world. That's kind of a great comparison, bro. I can't even lie. But at the same time, and this kind of circles back to what I'm saying. Like, this game won't ever die, man. We owe Ghost and Infinite Warfare a fat apology.
See? Look, it is the same goddamn thing every time. Their community does it too. It's so crazy to me to see this. Maybe this is a coping mechanism that's activated inside of me, but it's like, because I'm seeing this, it makes me feel better about my interpretation or my understanding of the Fortnite community. It's just like, wait, hold on. You guys are the same as literally every other gaming community on the planet that has a long-standing game with multiple versions. You're gonna bitch about the current version and glaze the previous version because of nostalgia. That's just the way it's gonna be. You're never going to be happy with the current iteration of the thing. That's why, like, certain people's opinions, you got to really take with a grain of salt. I just think you're parodying what everybody else around you is saying. You know, I'm actually curious what the replies are like under that comment.
Pepper, I completely agree with Ghost here, bro. I don't know about Infinite Warfare, bro. I don't know, man. The bills cannot be that high, Activision. 14,000 likes. Imagine how bad the bundles are going to be for this one. Let me just speak for myself. Obviously, okay, you guys are right. The comment section is kind of 50-50. Well, not even 50-50. They are torching it. But I mean, if you guys can see the dislikes, does it have more likes or dislikes? 40 million views, 140,000 likes is not a good ratio. Yeah, well, Black Ops 7 forgot to tell them to hit the like button, guys. And they would have done it. Silly. You could toss some stuff in there, right? I played the glory days of COD, okay? I was there. MW2, Black Ops 2, World at War. I mean, you could toss some stuff in there.
I'm gonna be honest. World at War, I played that. I was not impressed. World at War was not that much fun. It was okay, but it was not that exciting. But you know, it's crazy. I actually grew up playing a lot of a fair amount of those Call of Duties too. See, this is what people gotta understand, man. Anytime something is new, if the concept is really good and it's new and it's popular, it's gonna be exciting. The problem is, something that has existed for a long period of time, and they've got to continue to try to make this old recipe taste brand new. There's only going to be so many different mixtures that they can do to kind of try to, you know, spice it up for you. And the thing is, sometimes it's not going to come out great. Sometimes it's going to taste bad. But the thing is, they've got to try. They have to keep coming out with new versions, and that's tough. I think once the game gets past like the 4 to 5 year mark, it's going to be tough to find new ways to reinvent yourself.
It's not that I'm sitting there and I'm watching the BO7 trailer. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I'm begging them to make a game like they used to, in the sense of they had the recipe. They had the recipe for an incredible game. And I played those glory days. So I experienced what Call of Duty can be. So I want new Call of Duty to have that feeling that it used to.
Let me say this real quick to be fair, right? To a certain degree, I'm speaking out of ignorance. Like, I'm not a hardcore Call of Duty fan, but I played a fair amount of the older games. And of course, you know, a few of the newer titles in the last like 5 years or so. But I think where Call of Duty is at is where like Fortnite Chapter 5 was. Fortnite was in Chapter 5 was kind of getting away from a lot of the things that we came to the game for. And I think the biggest contributor to that was like the bullet drop aspect. I'm cool with Epic experimenting with stuff, but certain things I think should be left alone. They've got a pretty good formula with their game. Chapter 6 to me feels like another version of Chapter 4. I don't think Chapter 6 is as profound as Chapter 4 was for me. Like, I don't think it's as fun, but it's pretty damn good. I love Fortnite Chapter 6, and this current season is really fun too. I just think that Call of Duty, from what I can see, from like minor gameplay I've watched, as well as kind of where their community is at, like hearing people's perspectives, like this, watching some of Tim's videos and everything, it feels like they're where Fortnite Chapter 5 was, and they've really gotten away from what makes their game good. Plus, they got to deal with the cheaters and hackers. But to be fair, Fortnite's got a problem with that too. I feel like a lot of competitive shooter games are kind of going through a hacking crisis right now. I just don't know if there's good enough technology to be able to detect a lot of these more advanced systems that people have to cheat the games.
I gotta tell you guys something. I don't know if it's nostalgia.
Part of it might be. That's fair.
And if it is nostalgia, we're in fucking trouble, because no games are gonna be able to, like, I mean, maybe that's the bottom line here. Just gaming change, right? Gaming change completely, in the sense of,
see, this is the big conversation right here. This is what I've been trying to get to.
when I'm playing MW2, I just bought the game and I had the game, man. Like, gaming overall, it's all about this progressive, new, constant release, update here, event here. Like, that's what gaming's about now. So, like, maybe it's just gaming as a whole. So it's not even necessarily Call of Duty's fault. They're just trying to adapt with the way that gaming is going, and that's just microtransactions. I mean, that's the way gaming went. The era of just playing a game for it to be an awesome game and a company making an incredible game, in my opinion, is just flatlined.
You know what? To be fair, he's not wrong with that. I'll give you an example. When I got a little older and I was able to get my first console, all the video games that I bought were just video games of IPs that I enjoyed. Mainly Transformers and Dragon Ball. So Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, Transformers War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, Dragon Ball, Raging Blast 1, 2. I do kind of miss the days where you bought the game and that's what the game was. There were no updates. What you had was what you had. And the developer had to make sure that the game was good with no bugs before they dropped it because they couldn't patch it. I remember when Transformers War for Cybertron got announced. I think I still have the copy, like the Game Informer magazine. This was like 2 years before the actual game dropped. And every few months we would get like an update on the game, and we would see what High Moon Studios was doing and how, you know, what they were trying to do to build upon like Transformers lore and like their interpretation of the game, and how they was going to be a love letter to not just the original Generation 1 cartoon, but like all aspects of Transformers. Being there for that journey, like listening to the developers talk about their love for Transformers, what they did to make this game stand out and unique, being, you know, like a big, like the first big Transformers AAA title, like brand new game in a while, like outside of the movieverse. Seeing them talk about it for 2 years and then actually getting the game in hand and playing it, bro, that was like, it was like a whole story. It was a journey. Like the day that I got the game and brought it home, I played that game for 3 days straight. Chat. My eyes hurt from staring at the TV screen for so long. Like, I was locked into the story mode, and the online multiplayer was fire, right? We haven't had a good, like a AAA Transformers game since, I think, Devastation, and I've never played Devastation. You also know what sucks about that? I can't play Devastation because you can't buy it digitally. I mean, I guess I could like try to find a physical copy and play it on PS4 or something. Like, that's fair. But that kind of ties into the whole stop killing games movement and why that's important. But I don't know. There is something to be said about developers just wanting to make a good ass game. And I still think that there are developers that do that. Like, I still think that people are invested in that, but there are a lot of corners that can be cut because you can just update games now. Like, now it feels like a lot of the time you're not getting the full game. You're getting a partial game, and to get the full game, you have to pay for DLC. Like, I'm not one of these like anti-billion-dollar company guys. Like, I don't hate quote-unquote billion-dollar companies or CEOs and all that other shit. I also like to advocate for like consumers, and in the sense that, like, if you want me to invest in your product, I want a good product and a good service from you. If you don't give me that, then I'm not going to be as invested in your stuff. I'm going to turn my money somewhere else, which is why I don't play Call of Duty as much anymore, because I just don't fit. The product's just not good. I don't think microtransactions are necessarily a bad thing, but I think that when companies get lazy with their product, providing a good product for the consumer, that's when I have an issue. If it gets to a point where I don't think your product is worth the money, I'm not paying for it. So
look at this new thing here. Look at this new thing here. Obviously, it's a lot about buying things, and that's the way gaming went. It's the way the direction of the gaming culture went, where You have these items that you can purchase, and oh, let me buy the battle pass, and oh, like this is the game, but you're gonna keep playing the same exact game for years and years to come, and they're gonna constantly update the same game, versus back in the day, you'd go to a midnight release because you had the new Halo coming out, or you had the new Call of Duty coming out. And that was the new game.
Let me say this real quick, too. What Tim is describing is similar to what I just described. Gaming back in the day was more of an experience. Before you got to play the game and enjoy that universe or that story that the game developers created, there was a journey that you yourself as an enjoyer of that franchise went on. Following the development of the game, reading hearing about the rumors online through message boards, reading the Game Informer magazines, the midnight releases, friends, everybody having LAN parties at their house, grabbing their Xboxes, inviting people over to play. Like, that was it. Because the technology was more limited back in the day and the world wasn't as connected through social media, we had to work a lot harder to get access to the game and also to play with other people. But what that did in turn was it created more of an experience, more of a story, more interaction for all of us. It kind of even ties into the conversation we had earlier about the Optimus Tesla robots serving food at restaurants instead of actual people. Something about that, it's unsettling to me. It's so weird. Like, as technology advances, so much of our culture is just kind of lost. That's a far deeper conversation than what Tim's trying to have here. But I think that's the underlying tone that exists.
Yeah, a lot of people shit on Call of Duty, which, I mean, not for nothing, there are things they're doing that are fucking stupid. So, but at the same time, I don't think it's all Call of Duty's fault. I think Call of Duty is trying to adapt with the times. And yes, I'm going to play the new Call of Duty. No, I don't think Call of Duty is dead or dying. A lot of people say these certain games are going to come out and it's going to kill Call of Duty, and the game is still there. It's going to be there, bro. And I got news for you guys. It's going to be there whether or not you play the game.
True. That's what people got to understand. Look, if you don't want to play the game, just like I said, there's certain games I'm not going to play, like Call of Duty. That's fine. Speak with your time and your money, man. If it's not worth it to you, don't play it. But understand, there's going to be a hardcore fan base of people that do want to play it. These games aren't going anywhere. They are not going to stop having players just because they make a few bad decisions or some terrible decisions. That's the harsh reality of it. The hardcore fans they're going to want to check this stuff out. I also want to point this out. The streaming video game landscape, like the gaming ecosystem, the gaming market is also changing. And I think what a lot of people are seeing right now, because Tim's gonna bring this up in a minute, but like gaming is just kind of dry right now. I think it's because of all the changes that are happening in the world. Like, gaming is kind of catching up with the technology. Like, people are kind of figuring out like what's the best way to do business and the best product to make. Even though like we talk about like the companies being lazy and all that, I don't think it's completely the companies being lazy. I think a lot of them are just trying to figure out what the hell to do, because in the grand scheme of things, companies are not going to want to put out crap products that are not going to be enjoyable for their player base. Yeah, sure, there are going to be times where companies are going to cut corners, right? But if they keep doing that, they're not going to be able to make as much money. They've got to do things to try to maintain the integrity of their brand as well as keep their player bases happy. But listen, on the other side of the spectrum, it could also be the case that it's harder to please people now because there is so much free entertainment and you've got so many options when it comes to video games and gameplay. But it's a double-edged sword, and it's very difficult. I can see as a company, if you've got a popular title, a legacy title, it would be very difficult to be able to find that balance.
I was in the Call of Duty cycle where it's like I'd buy the new Call of Duty, play it a little bit, and then I'd go back to something else. That was what I did for COD for years until Warzone came out, the OG Warzone. I'm not talking, and I remember playing that, and I remember that experience I had with dropping into Verdansk the first time around and thinking, it reminded me of the feeling I had like when I was playing MW2 back in the day. I don't think that was just because of COVID. I do agree there is a level of, with lockdown happening, everyone just stayed home, so everyone just played. Like there is an aspect to that, but they still had that game release. Because without Warzone, I'm not streaming MW 2019 for that long.
That's, I think, a testament to live service gaming. Like, I know live service gaming gets vilified a lot, but once again, it's that double-edged sword again, right? Live service gaming is like a blessing and a curse. Live service gaming makes people play a title a lot longer than they normally would. It makes loyal, like super hardcore loyal fans out of a title of a game because of the way live service gaming is structured. And a lot of live service games look at Helldivers. They have these really awesome community. Same with Marvel Rivals. They have a hardcore community. Fortnite, Call of Duty, you know, the Warzone community. I remember when Warzone dropped and how cool it was for me to play Warzone. I got excited about it. I loved it because they had another Call of Duty BR before Warzone. I forget what that one was called. But I remember playing that one a couple times, and I'm just like, this is not Fortnite. It's not as cool as Fortnite. I'm going to go back and play Fortnite. But when Warzone dropped, that was the first time I had another BR that rivaled Fortnite for me in terms of how much fun I was having. I'm like, this is dope. And it was fun to go back and forth between the two games. It's not the same kind of feeling you got when you played OG Fortnite, right? But it's just like, and I keep using this word over and over again, but there's like a certain coziness to the culture, or to a culture of a video game when a new game comes out and it just hits right. Like, everybody's talking about it. Everybody wants to play it. It's a fun game. They're having fire updates. You want to keep playing with your friends. You and your friends are scheduling time to play with each other every day. Pause. Someone's going to take that out of context. But you and your friends are scheduling time to run games with each other every day. I got to find a word for how this feels, man. The streamers are having, like, that's the thing, bro. You want the streamers to have fun. You want the casual players to have fun. You want the community to be vibrant and excited about it. Like, even Marvel Rivals, I didn't get that from Marvel Rivals. And I love Marvel Rivals. It's still a fun game. But even Marvel Rivals didn't hit for me the same way that Warzone did. There's something about just like when Warzone dropped and when Fortnite dropped, both of those games, like there was, I don't know, a unique cultural chemistry about them. This is my last point to prove that every community is the goddamn same. Oh my gosh, pay attention, class.
They added a mode with bots. Listen, bro, I'm not going to try and start going on a whole nother yap session here. I don't want to. But this whole adding AI and adding robots into BRs is one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever seen in my life, bro.
It's not just me, man. It's not. It's the same thing across every community. And so it made me start to think, like, where the hell is this coming from? Because if it's not just Fortnite, where people are advocating for this or fighting for this, like, what, like, why does this exist? Where is this coming from? And I think it's a few different things. Like, one, the average player and across all video games is just naturally better these days. And I honestly think Fortnite had a lot to do with that. I don't think that Fortnite bringing in creative and the skill gap increasing in Fortnite so rapidly between seasons 4 and 5, that didn't just affect Fortnite and how good people were at Fortnite. I think that affected the entire gaming community, the entire gaming space. Because now people took the principles that they learned from getting good at Fortnite and then they applied it to like Warzone and Apex and other shooters, right? We already put out a video earlier talking about bots and all that. Just like Tim, I don't want to rehash all that. I do understand why some people feel that way and everything, but I find it funny that Tim is of the same opinion that I am. And I think it's because we come from a different era, a different generation of video game players. Because like I told y'all a few days ago, when I was a kid, I didn't even own a video game console. My cousins would come over once a year and bring theirs, and I would be dying to play on the GameCube with them, to play the newest console. Super Smash Bros. I never won a single game in my entire life of Super Smash Bros. Against them. Why? Because they were able to play it 24/7, 365. I didn't even know what a GameCube was, but I wanted to play it, and I got my ass beat every single time. And I loved it. We come from a different era where it's like, you're just gonna play people better than you, you're gonna get your ass beat, but you're still gonna figure out a way to have fun with the game. That's just how it was. But modern gamers, and I hate to like use the new gen argument, I don't think a lot of newer, younger kids, like Zoomers, you know, or whatever, anybody like the iPad kid generation onward, I think that y'all were lied to. I think that you've been like, a lot of y'all been programmed to think like you have to get a win every time in order for you to have the max amount of fun. No, the fun thing is getting your ass beat 8,000 times, but on that 8,001st try, when you finally genuinely win, the rush of joy and excitement that hits you, you'll never experience that by getting participation trophies with bots. I'm sorry, not sorry, you'll never get it. It's just the way it is, and unks like me and Tim, we get it because we got our ass beat, whether it was playing online or playing with family or playing with friends growing up. It's just the nature of gaming, bro. Last thing I'll just say before we end this out, and everybody who's watching Accordance should most definitely be liking and subscribing to the video. Like, what's wrong with you if you made it this far in? But I think that's the thing that's really noticed in the gaming space right now. We're getting a lot of remakes of the same games over and over again. There's a lot of, new Fortnite season, new Fortnite chapter, new Call of Duty, and we do get new games from time to time, like Helldivers, Marvel Rivals, but nothing has really swept the internet the same way that Fortnite did. Fortnite had a grip on the planet culturally for 2 years. And I feel like a game like that only drops, I don't know, maybe once a decade. We had Fall Guys I think that was relevant for 2 months. Then it was Among Us. And then we've had like little, small little things that happen from time to time. But nothing has hit like Fortnite has. If people are saying GTA 6, I know that GTA 6 will be popular. It'll have a strong fan base. I don't think it's going to die. Like once again, none of the franchises are going to die. But it's a new title for an old game. I really do think that we need, just gaming needs something. I don't know what that thing is, but gaming needs something that's going to take the world by storm. It's just going to get all of us excited again. That's hands down the most important thing that I think we need right now.